Hey, what's up, guys? You're listening to the It Takes a Village podcast. I'm Ashley, your host. This is where the struggles are real, the callings are heavy, the kids are sticky. We come together because it takes a village, and this is your tribe. Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to do a fun episode of 5 things you should never say to another mom, and I'm sure you guys know this already. As moms, we have those lists or those moments that we can pinpoint back to somebody who clearly needs a filter, said something totally inappropriate to us. So I want to have fun with it and talk about the 5 things that you should not say to another mother. Number 1, it must be nice to be home all day. First off, as a stay-at-home mom myself, I am super grateful for the ability to stay home with my kiddos. But at the same time, you cannot say that to a mom not knowing what they are going through. You don't know if their child has colic, if they have, reflux, if they're not sleeping during the night, but they're awake all day to where they're not giving you a rest. Like, you have no idea what that mom is going through throughout the day. Also, maybe she really wants to work, but financially it just doesn't make sense. And so she's putting her dreams on the line to stay home for now until there comes a time where she can go back to work. Number 2, you should never say, my kids would never do that. First off, I'll admit, I was one of those moms, or I was one of those teenagers, those naive, rose-colored glasses teenagers, and even into my young adulthood, would look at other families and see their kids throwing a tantrum in the middle of a restaurant. They're whining, they're crying, they're screaming. And the parents look defeated. And I would say, my kids would never act like that. When I have a family, my kids would never act like that. So I think God has a special love for those who say that their kids won't ever act like that when they become a parent, because he makes it very apparent that your kids are definitely acting like that. And then if you have multiple kids, he just likes to make it extra special for you. So let's take it easy on each other, ladies. All right, number 3. And this one is one of my favorites. It's when somebody says, I would never leave my kid with a stranger. First off, I have been super blessed that we have grandparents surrounding our area and are willing to watch our kiddos, and they rotate between each other of who gets to watch who. But I am not naive, and I realize that a lot of women, a lot of families do not have that kind of support around them because everybody's spread out and they don't live close to them, or they're working and they're busy. And so you get a babysitter. If you've ever taken an Uber, or if you know that your teenagers, your kids, once they become teenagers, will eventually take an Uber, you are letting a stranger drive your child. You do realize that, right? So whether it's now or later, like, you can't say that you won't let a stranger watch your child, or you can't judge another mom for, quote unquote, her having a stranger watch her child. She is trying to stay sane, and she's probably having the first date night that she's ever had in 5 years. So, and of course, we're going to background check and make sure the babysitter has CPR, and we've asked their references about them, and we're going to ask them questions and maybe interview them. And as soon as we get the green light that they're safe and that they know how to watch a baby, we're piecing the heck out of there, because we need to survive. It's all about survival, and we got to put the oxygen mask on first. And this brings us to number 4. And this one was actually brought to my attention from my daughter. She actually said it to me, but I do know that a lot of women have had this said to them as well, in the grocery store specifically. And it's that when your kid is throwing a fit, you may not have a snack on you, and whatever is closest to you, you're going to grab, you're going to open it up, and you're going to give it to your baby, because you get hangry. You know, you get hungry when you're shopping. So you know that when your toddler gets hungry, it's on. And you have no qualms about opening a package right then and there. And my daughter said, Mom, you need to buy that first. And I said, no, sweetie. You will understand when you're a mom, this is going to get open now, and then we will buy it at the checkout. We'll take the empty wrapper, and then we'll pay for it. But this needs to happen now. I can't blame my kids, though, because really when I'm shopping and I've been shopping all day and I get hungry, I feel like I could just lay down in the aisle and start crying too if I don't have a snack. So I totally sympathize with them. And this last offensive remark is mainly said to you working moms out there who really love your job, or maybe you just need to work because you need to work, and somebody has no common sense and they come up to you and say, your husband should let you stay home. And I have 1,000 responses to that remark that I can't say because I love Jesus. But if you think for 1 minute that any of these women have their husbands let them do anything, you're completely off your rocker. We do not let them tell us what to do. We decide as a unit or a family what's best for us, what we want to do, and we might want to be working. Or maybe we wish we were at home, and thank you, you just made us feel even worse about not being able to be at home. And if you've ever said any of these 5 things that I just went over and you feel like you wish you had put your foot in your mouth, I think we've all been there. We always say something that we wish we hadn't said, and it's never too late to be like, I totally didn't know what I was saying just then. I had no perspective. Maybe I didn't have kids right when I said that, and so I had no idea, but now I definitely do, and I'm sorry. But here is 5 things we should be really saying to each other. You're doing amazing. I don't know how insecure that you felt when you were a new parent, but if you see another mom and their child is throwing a fit and you can see it on their face, right? They're in the store and they're either trying to nurse inconspicuously or they're trying to tame their kid. They're trying to figure out what the heck is going on when their child looks like it's being possessed by a demon and they look stressed. You can see it on their face. There's the beads of sweat are starting to form on their foreheads and they look like they're turning pale. And if you just go by and say, you're doing amazing, then it takes a little bit of pressure off of them, feeling like the whole store is looking at them and judging them as a mother and as a person. And man, motherhood is just hard. We need people to remind us that they can see from the outside looking in that we are doing a good job because we are harder on ourselves than anybody is. And so let's just remind each other that we are doing a kick-ass job. We're amazing. And that we've got this. The second thing we should be saying to each other is, hey, let me come over and take your older kids to the park or take them for a walk, or let me walk your dog while you stay home with your baby and relax. There's nothing like having some amped up middle-aged kids running around your house when your vagina's sore and your boobs are leaky and they want to play and you just want to take a nap. This one is golden, you guys, and if you know a single parent out there, you should definitely throw this at them because they definitely need to hear it. And it's that you should tell them that their kid is going to be so proud of them. In being a single parent, I feel like they feel a lot of guilt, like there should be 2 of them and that their kid is missing out because there's a person missing or they're having to go back and forth and whatnot. But if you tell them and let them know that their kid is going to be so proud of them because they have come a long way since their divorce. They have been able to build this new life for their family. They've been able to create a new identity or find themselves and transform into the person that they are. And also they've had to mom and deal with getting up at 2 a.m. with crying or vomit in the bed and then go to work and then make dinner and then make sure they get to their piano recital, repeat. Like when their kids are older, they're going to be like, heck yeah, mom, you rock. I don't know how you did it, but you did it and you're the best mom. So if we can just remind them of that, because right now their kids can't verbalize that to them. So if we could do that for them, I mean, come on. Like that's something we definitely need to be letting our single parent friends know. The next thing we should be saying to each other is, I will hold your child while you take a shower. I don't really think I need to say much about this one because I think we've all been there. We've tried to put our child in the bouncy chair or the walker to only find that they gave us 5 minutes in the shower of cold water and we have to run out covered in soap with shampoo dripping into our eyes. We've probably cut ourselves shaving trying to get out the door without falling over just to get to our child who's now screaming because we put them down for 2 seconds. So yeah, let's tell our mom friends that we'll come watch their kids. They don't have to entertain us. We'll come by. We got 15 minutes. Hey, I got 15 minutes. I'm coming by. Let me hold your kid. Hop in the shower. You smell. You'll appreciate me later. I mean, maybe leave out the you smell part, but you know what I mean. And lastly, and this one's a goodie, but a favorite of mine. Or is that what I really wanted to say? No, this one's an oldie but a goodie. That's what I wanted to say. And it's that you shouldn't say if you need something or if you need me, call me. Like, because we know as moms, We are trying to test the limits of how much we can do on our own, and we hate to ask for help. At least I did. Maybe you're better at asking for help, but I hated it. And when people offered like an open-ended offer of, hey, like, give me a call if you need anything, I thought that was just like something they were saying to be nice. But then like really when you called them, they're like, well, today, I don't know about today. So I never asked for help. One thing that we can say, so that way they have no choice, and something that everybody can appreciate, I'm sure, is you just say, here's a meal I made for you, and leave it on their doorstep. Send them a text, just dropped off a meal, or hey, pulling up with dinner. And then they have no choice to deny you from helping them, because even though we really need it, and even though we would praise the Lord for somebody dropping off Chick-fil-A at our front porch and just driving off, we won't ask you for that. So as moms, we should be telling each other, hey, made a meal for you, here you go. And we will all praise Jesus together for the fact of we don't have to juggle trying to nurse a child while cooking dinner and wrangling our other children at the same time, or probably our dog who is trying to get us to take him on a walk. So just drop a meal off, or just say those words, here's a meal I made for you. And here's a bonus one that I wanted to leave you guys with, because it's something that I started doing recently, and it feels very weird. It feels almost counterintuitive. Like you're in the store and you hear a baby that's just, losing it. And you know that there's a mom on the other side of that aisle with that baby who is trying to figure out what the heck to do. She probably hasn't been able to go to the store in like weeks and is on the verge of tears because she has a cart full and she feels like she has to ditch the cart to take the baby home at this point. And it's that we can go up to them and say, hey, I know I'm a stranger. I know this is awkward and I know this is weird. I would love to walk alongside you while you finish your store, and I will hold your baby for you. I will entertain your kid so you can get done. I know how it is. I know this is weird. I know you don't want to like hand over your child to a stranger. I'm going to stay with you. We're going to do this together. We can do this together. We can make it through, or something like that, because you know that you've been there. You've been in the store and you're just over it and you feel defeated, and you get back in your car with zero things that you came there for, and you probably really needed a razor. Your legs probably look like Chewbacca, and you probably really needed that razor, and now you have to go home without it because your child lost their mind in the Target aisle. So I think the point of this episode is just to encourage you to embrace the awkward, because we've all been there. We've all wished that somebody had said something or done something or looked at us a little less judgmental, gave us a look of, hey, I've been there, instead of what the heck are you doing? And so I just want to encourage you guys that just come from a place of, hey, we understand each other. We've been there before. We've been there. We are there. And let's help each other out. Let's be each other's team. Let's be a unit. And I mean, you don't have to be weird about it, but I think that we would all appreciate just helping each other out and saying the things that we really need to say to each other. All right, you guys, hope you enjoyed this episode. Let me know in the comments, or shoot me a message on Facebook. Also, you can now request topics to be discussed on this podcast if you go to theashcarroll.com/contact. And there is no name part to fill out. There is no informational part to fill out, like your email or anything. And so you can now anonymously suggest a topic, an issue, or something of that nature if you want to. So leave me some messages so I can get to those topics and get to talking about what you guys want to hear.